All right, so welcome to part 8 of Learn Go, and in this video we're going to be going over arrays. So let's just get right into declaring an array. If you're familiar with lists in Python, then arrays are going to be a very similar type of idea. Likewise, if you're familiar with the arrays in C++, C, or Java, then you're also going to be pretty familiar with the way that they're declared here. So in order to declare an array in Go, we're going to use the var keyword. We're going to give it a name. So I'm just going to call this int array or int r. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tell it how many elements we wish to store in this array. And the way you do that is with an open square brace and a closing square brace, and then the number of elements you wish to store. And then finally, you tell it what type to store of this array. So we're going to say that we want an array of integers. So you say int. So what we can go ahead and do is we can say format.println int r. Let's just go ahead and see what happens if we just try to print out this array to the screen after we've just declared it like this. So I'll write it, I'll go ahead and clear the screen, and then we'll say go run, and this is called 8_arrays.go. So we can see here that once we printed out this array, there's 5 zeros here. And the reason that's initialized to 0 is that anytime you declare an array in Go, it initializes it to that size of whatever you specify, and it initializes it to the 0 value of whatever the type is that you're declaring an array. So for instance, 0 is a 0 value for an integer array. If we were to declare an array of booleans, for instance, false would be the 0 value for the type boolean. We can just go ahead and verify that actually. So let's go ahead and declare another array. Let's say var bool_r. We'll say this one is of size 10. It stores type bool, and then we'll go ahead and print this out to the screen. So we'll say format.println bool_array. We'll save that, go ahead and run it. So again, we have our initial array here, 5 zeros, and then we have 10 false entries in this boolean array, bool_r. So again, it initializes it to the 0 value of whatever the type is. So if it's a string, it's just the empty string. So again, we can also see that. We can see var, let's just call it, just for consistency, strarr. Let's just say this one's of size 20, and we'll say this is of type string, format.println, and then we'll say string_array, write it, run it, and then we'll just see an empty array that has essentially 20 spaces in it. Okay, so we've declared a couple arrays. So we can also access elements of the array. We can change the entries of a given array using a syntax that's going to be pretty familiar to you. Again, if you're coming from C++, Java, or Python, if you're familiar with how lists operate, how you can access elements and change elements at certain positions of lists. So let's, for instance, say that we want to change the first two elements of int r. So let's just say that we want to say int array. Let's say that we want to change the element stored at the 0th index of the int array to, let's say, 5. And let's say that we want to change the element at the first index to, let's say, something like 10. So Go is 0-based, the way that they do arrays. Not all languages are 0-based. Of course, Python, C++, Java all start indexing at zeros for arrays, but languages like MATLAB and things like that, there are languages that do actually start at 1. So it's good to know that the indexing here starts at 0. So if we go ahead and change the values of the 0th and first index for the int array that we declared above, go ahead and print it out to the screen. So we'll say println int r, save it, run it. Then we see the array that we've modified here. We've changed the first entry to 5, second entry to 10, and the rest are still zeros. So let's see, we can also print out the specific elements of the array. So for instance, if we were to say format.println int array of 0, this would give us the first element of the array. So if we were to do that, we should get 5. So we get 5 there because we're accessing the first element of this array that we've changed. We can also declare arrays in a slightly more concise manner using the := notation, as long as we know what the elements of the array are to be stored in. So for instance, if we say a : let's have it a size 5, we'll say that it stores of type int, and then we can say open curly brace, close curly brace, and then we can give it the specific elements of which this array will be storing. So we'll have to give it 5 elements. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we go ahead and write that, let's say format.println a, then the final array here that we're printing out is this array that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's also the len function that Go provides to us, which if you're coming from a background of Python, that should be very familiar to you. It's a function that that operates on lists in Python. It tells you how big a particular list is, how many elements it has stored at that particular list. So we can, for instance, say format.println len of a. We can also do this with any array, so we can do it with the Boolean array that we defined above as well, which is called bool_r. So we should see 5 and 10 respectively here. So the array that we printed out, the length of this array here is of size 5. The length of this array here is of size 10. And we can also think about multidimensional arrays as well. So again, multidimensional lists or arrays should be pretty familiar to you if you're coming from a background of either Python, C, C++, or Java, or anything like that. So we can declare them in a pretty similar way to the way we would declare a one-dimensional array. So let's call this two-dimensional array AA. We'll say that the first index stores 5 elements, the second one stores 5 elements as well. We'll say that it stores type int. And if we go ahead and print this out to the screen, format.println AA, let's go ahead and write that and run it. Then we see that again, all of the entries in this particular 2D array are initialized to 0. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and each of those rows stores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements here. So they're all initialized to 0. So we can go ahead and let's just fill in the array with some arbitrary value. Let's just go ahead and define a variable. We'll call it count. And then we'll brush up on loops from the previous loop video that we had. So we'll say for I, let's say, is equal to 0. I is less than the size of the first index, which is 5 in this case, I++. And then we'll have inside of this loop another loop, so we can loop through the second index of the 2D array. So we'll say j, let's say j is equal to 0. J is less than the size of the second index, which is 5 in this case as well. And then inside of this loop, let's just fill the ijth entry of AA with count. So we'll say AA ij is equal to count. And so we make it different every time. Let's just go ahead and say count is equal to count plus 1. So what this is going to do is we'll see the 5 different rows. In the first row, we should see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then so on for the other remaining 3 rows as well. So we're going to fill that in with that 2D array, and then just for completeness, let's just go ahead and print it out to the screen. So we'll say format.println AA, go ahead and give that a run, and then we see that we've changed or we've entered in each element of this array with the variable count that updates every time we loop through the loop. So the first row, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much it for this video on arrays. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please don't hesitate to leave them below to this video. The code will be hosted on my GitHub page, and you can go ahead and download that following the link in the description to this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.